This is CAF TV. Welcome, everyone. I'm Alex Bastiavansky, bringing you all the action from the Canadian Academy of Football. On the agenda today, highlights from the under-13 and under-16 division, plus Tony Ronca, Academy Director for Supernova FC, is going to join me here in the studio to talk about his program, which has really had some tremendous success so far this season. Also, I will have a feature on CAP Academy, all coming up later on in the show. But first, let's get to those Sport Check match day highlights. And once again this week, the under-14 CAF Supergroup had a break in the schedule. Now, things get back to normal this coming weekend, but in the meantime, we get to check out some of the different age groups. Up first are the under-13s and a tilt between Toronto Boca Juniors and the CAF Gunners. Match highlights now brought to you by Sport Check. What are you sweating for? Boca getting pumped for the big matchup against the Gunners, and these two squads brought it 3 minutes in. Look at the speed of Safir Soufi turning on the Jets, but the keeper gets off his line to make the nice stop and keep it scoreless. It's Boca that draws first blood, though. The numbers don't match some of the names on the game sheets I was given, so we're going to call this guy number 27. Number 27 slams it home. Way to go, number 27. Boca goes up 1-0. Soon after, Boca was back at it again. Gabriel Montes gets his noggin on the ball, but it's handled by the keeper to keep it a one-goal game. Gunners coming close here. David Arce out front just gets a toe on it. Alex Sherivar gets down to make the big save and keep the shutout going. On to the second half we go. Trouble for Boca and trouble for identifying players once again. Number 17 for the Gunners. Paging number 17. Denied by the hand of Joelian Jones, who gives up the penalty and gets red carded in the process. Penalty kick Gunners. David Arce takes it, makes it, and we're all knotted up at 1 early in the second half, but Boca gets it back late in the match. Jonathan Escobar, who also likes to go by the alias Jonathan Martinez, whatever he likes to be called, the boy can shoot. He slams it home. 2-1 Boca. That's how it ended. Yeah, good job, boys. 2-1 Boca Juniors is your final. Afterwards, Nicholas Oldra and Jonathan Martinez / Escobar stop by to chat and break down the big win.
We played good. We did lots of touches. We did really good. We did lots of good on my plays, and everybody played good. Like the defenders, the attackers, the goalie, and the midfield and all. And we scored really good goals. Some of us missed, but it's okay. We still scored. We still won.
Well, up next was the under-16 group featuring Boca Juniors and Toronto Fusion, a team that's been utterly dominant this season. Fusion was undefeated heading into this matchup and had only allowed 1 goal through 6 games. None of this mattered to Boca, however, who gave Fusion all they could handle on Saturday. And it sure didn't look that way at the start, though. 30 seconds after the opening whistle, Miles Green crosses for Bradley Alphonse, who knocks it home with a nice header. Fusion racks up lots of goals, so this had the look of a likely blowout after that start, but Boca quickly changed that perception. 10 minutes later, boom, off the post it goes, but they were looking dangerous. Back come Fusion. Christian Hanif breaks down the wing, cuts it back inside, denied by Ivan Sabalet, though. Then the Blues come oh so close off the corner. It bounces to Julian Nichevsky, who has Sabalet chasing his tail, just gets his fingers on it to knock the ball off the line. On to the second half of play we go, and it's Boca's Fabio D'Orazio with the goal of the week here. Sweet feet. Gorgeous goal. TBJ knocks it up at 1 apiece. Fusion really starts to press, though, after that. Dimitris Barlos lays it off for Sebastian Scrapo. He's denied. Eric Canena on the follow-up misses by inches, though, and he feels the pain. Then the weird bounce of the week. Look at the English on this ball. Spins away from the keeper. Hanif almost makes him pay, but he can't complete the transaction. Fusion finally notches a second late in the half. Bradley Alphonse with the dirty moves. Lays it off for Nichevsky, who slots it home. Boca caught ball watching on that one. 2-1 Fusion. Then just before the final whistle, Jasprit Sandhu draws the defender. Nobody marks Miles Green out front for the easy tap in. 3-1 Toronto Fusion. That's how this one ends up. Kudos to Boca, though, as previously mentioned. That's just the second goal Fusion has allowed all season. Afterwards, Dimitris Barlos felt the team got a bit complacent after the early goal and had to pick it up a notch.
I know. I think we just got off to we got off actually to a really well start, like a really good start, but then I guess we just kind of fell apart during the second half of like the first half. And then I guess we started to pour it on in the second half, like we usually do. We started, passing more and taking more touches on the ball, which is good. And as I said before, we needed to get more through balls, and that's what we did, and that's how we finished off.
So much fun to watch. Some of the plays of the year so far. Thanks, guys. The Yogurty Supergroup standings as of July 17th. Of course, the league has been on a break the last 2 weeks in the schedule. Epic still on top with 12 points, tied with GCS, followed by CAP and Burlington in a tie for third. Dragon Force in fifth, Jenga in sixth. Of course, Epic has only played 4 games, so they're still going to have to make up a couple of games that they've missed so far. Upcoming games schedule resuming on Sunday. GCS Dragon Force at 10. Epic and Jenga at noon, CAP and Burlington at 2 p.m. from Centennial. That game will be broadcast on Rogers Television. You've got to check your local listings to see when it's going to be broadcast in your area. The players are super excited about being on Rogers, though. And CAFsoccer.com for all the latest news, stats, and standings, as well as the television schedule. And I'm joined in the studio now by the Academy Director of Supernova FC, Tony Ronca, and his star midfielder on, believe it or not, both the under-18 and the under-23 Supernova teams, Jordan Mello. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alex. Good to be here.
Big weekend for you guys. They just got back from Ontario Cup. Actually, we're Tilsonburg? No, where was it?
Tilsonburg.
In Tilsonburg.
Yes.
This past weekend. And guys, how'd you do?
I thought we did really well. Unfortunately, we didn't do well enough to continue on the draw chart. But we won 3 out of the 4 games. We met the #1 team in province probably, and they outplayed us. They scored 2 nice goals, and we gave them a good battle.
But you won 3 of 4.
3 out of 4.
So obviously, and this is, and you guys are to some teams a little bit of an unknown you were mentioning. So I mean, I guess
Yeah.
you can't be displeased with the way you guys played, winning 3. Unfortunately, you win 3 of 4 and you still don't advance. It's killer that that's what happens, but you can't be displeased with the way the guys played.
No,
then.
not at all. The boys played fantastic. I've only had them for a little while. They've developed extremely well. I think we gave a great fear to the #1 team in the province, and we look for another opportunity to play them really soon.
Jordan,
Yep.
how long have you been with the program for, and how are you enjoying the experience so far?
Well, I've known Tony for ages, but when I recently joined the team about, was it a year ago? Around, coming up on a year, I guess.
About a year.
Yeah, about a year ago. Yeah, and then, so we're with Bolton, and we switched over to our own kind of academy.
To the academy, and
Yeah.
you feel like it's helped you as a player?
Yeah,
being with
the
Tony, yeah.
development's great. Tony's a great coach. You know, he's before I was kind of like a mediocre player, and then once we came into Tony's hands, he kind of like brings something out of you, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a second. But I was going to say, so I mean, dominant so far in CAF under-18 action. I watched you guys 2 weeks ago. You won 8-0. Obviously, you got a really strong team to play with, don't you? And Tony, in general, it's a strong team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a strong team. They're coming together really well and playing systematic soccer. Like the diagonals and runs and balls are just amazing, and they're understanding the next step.
Yeah. And
Really.
this is a team. Have most of these guys been with you for a little while?
No, the majority of them have only been with me since probably March, February
Right.
of this current year.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to get more into that in a second, and more about Supernova and the history and what the academy is all about. When we come back, more CAF TV coming back in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. Alex Bastivansky joined in the studio by the Academy Director of Supernova FC, Tony Ronca. And I'd like to actually correct, it's center back, Jordan Mello, not midfield like I said before. Apparently I have something going on upstairs today. Anyway, guys, back in the studio here, let's discuss Supernova then. The program, it's a new program,
Yes.
right, Tony? So
Yes, sir.
what is it, when did you start it, and why did you start it?
Well, it's been an accumulation of years as I've been coaching. If I go back all the way to the beginning, it's probably been about 28 years of coaching. I've 3 clubs in particular, Oakville, Dixie, Bolton, and now my own academy. I really have a passion for trying to provide the opportunities for gifted young athletes in this game of soccer to my particular focus, which would be scholarships. And throughout North America, I believe we have a responsibility to our youth, talented youth, to provide that avenue. And they should never retire at U18 as most Canadian top athletes do. That's really the vision why I started my own academy just this past February.
This past February.
Yeah.
What type of players does Supernova deal with? Are we talking boys and girls? Are we talking all age groups, or is it limited age groups? Tell us about it. Exactly.
Right now we have about 44 players in the program. Actually, I should add another 15 in the U10 bracket. And we have 3 teams in the 1 team in the U18 and 2 teams in the U23 brackets, and that's just word of mouth. I haven't advertised it all yet, and I'm hoping that now that we've initiated the new program, that we'll be able to draw more players to our program.
What's the goal then for you guys ultimately, since it just started in February and you've had such a tremendous response just through word of mouth? Where do you see this ending up then?
Well, I don't really look at it too far and too big, because I'm really interested in the individual young players that come to me, and I really have that responsibility to give back to them. So I'm only taking the group as it is, and as it unfolds, I have to make sure that I'm able to actually deal with everybody, and otherwise it may be too large to really be effective, and I don't want to go that far.
Right. Jordan, you mentioned you feel that he's really helped you as a player. Talk about some of the stuff that he's done then with you and with the group. Talk about your training sessions, for example, and what sort of things he has you going through.
Well, as he said, he takes us to showcases in the States to showcase ourselves to college scouts, but the difference with the States is they're more physical. So in our practices, we go 100%. It's not like you go 50% or 70%. you go 100%. So if someone makes a hard tackle, that's good. Like if you get hurt, it happens, no big deal. But just the intensity's risen. You know, like we focus on things that like you need to have like a base for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You love going down in the States and playing against these guys? Is it more of a challenge for you going down? I've talked to other CAF teams that actually go down and play in showcases and stuff. They love it. They get pumped up for it. They know that it's a higher level of competition. There's just more of a population base to draw from who play the game. What's your feeling like? Do you love going down in the States?
Oh, I love going down in the States. You know, as a big player like myself, physicality, I enjoy like physical play. So the States, that's more of what they play around is physicality.
Right. What's your goal as a player? Let's talk about in the immediate future and maybe the ultimate goal for you if you could pick something. So immediate future, scholarship?
Yeah, scholarship for sure.
Scholarship. So have you started the process of speaking to schools and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few schools now about like where they see me going and all that stuff.
Right. And ultimately, if you could pick and choose, I've asked this question to everyone who's been on the show, one team, one ultimate goal, what would it be?
Honestly, just to, I guess, play soccer for a pro club, I guess.
Play pro.
Yeah.
Somewhere over in Europe.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So you've coached some powerhouse teams in the past, and one of the teams, the most recent team, was, I believe it was Bolton last year.
Yes, it was.
And you guys had some phenomenal success. Just talk about that for a sec.
Well, that was incredible. Even now, I got my goosebumps happening on my
Just
arm
talking about it?
it. The gifted group that I last took over was the 97th age group, and at that time I was with Dixie, and I decided to make a move for my own challenge in coaching. We were the #1 team probably across Canada and in Ontario, and I decided at that time there wasn't really a heck of a lot more to achieve. So I decided to move to Bolton, start a new program there, and I played them a year up.
Right.
And I had tryouts and picked the best players at the tryouts, and we were lucky enough to go undefeated. We won everything. We won Ontario Cup, we won the league, OYSL. We won many American showcases. That last, we go to Disney almost every year,
right.
Lucky enough, because it's not, you have to have quite a resume for
in order
that.
to get into there.
Yeah.
And now we're doing Supernova, which is some of your best of the best. So just a couple quick things before we go.
Sure.
Where is it located out of?
Mississauga based.
So Mississauga based. And if people want to find out more about it, they can go to supernova. fc.ca. We've been showing the website throughout, but that's correct, right?
That's
supernova.fc.ca.
That's right.
Guys, it's been fun watching you this year. We're going to get you on tape a few more times with some great highlights. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks very much for having us, Alex.
All right, no
Thank you.
problem. CAF TV returning in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. Well, one of the more entertaining teams in the Supergroup this year has been CAP Academy, based out of Guelph. Truthfully, it shouldn't be too surprising to anybody, considering they're coached by former Mexican professional Ruben Flores, who's preaching technical skills along with creativity and, of course, passion for the game. We take a closer look now at CAP Academy and this week's CAF Team Report, brought to you by Leica Sports. Leica, your passion, our commitment. A charter member of the CAF Under-14 Supergroup, CAP Academy represents the best of the best from the Guelph Soccer Club.
We created an academy within the club. This academy gets the players on different age groups trained together 3 times a week, and then we have to put them to compete somewhere. In Guelph soccer, we think that CAP for us is the cherry of the cake. It's where all the better players go and play. It's the best of the best. Better players playing with the best players.
CAP Technical Director Ruben Flores played professionally at the highest level in Mexico before moving to Canada. He worked with the USA and provincial program and was straight up when they asked him for his assessment of Canadian soccer.
When they asked me as a newcomer what did I think about everything, I said that our kids needed to work much more on the technical side. They're strong, they're good athletes, every kid has a pair of shoes, every kid eats well, they have a bed, they have good school, But yes, but they don't have the background of the game. We try to be an orientated, ball control, be confident with the ball, express yourself on the field team.
We play 1 to 3 touches max. We always try to think ahead of who you're going to pass to, and I just think that it's really helpful because you just play quick.
So far, Ruben's players are loving the Canadian Academy of Football experience.
I thought we played really well. I thought we came together as a team since we are 2 different age groups. Playing with the younger kids is a great experience. Playing with the older ones, being more physical and just learning how to play, and like the different settings and like places in Toronto is just a great experience for all of us.
We're gonna almost play like a 1-4-1-4 or 4-1-4-1. Does that make sense? So that's how we're gonna be doing today.
He's a great coach. He can be tough on his players, but he gets the job done. Like he makes you learn. He makes you be a better player. He's a really good coach.
Nick O'Reilly is the team's star striker and one of the league's leading scorers. Recently chosen to play on the provincial team, he's a leader on the young CAP team.
Nick brings a lot of pace on the wing. He's really fast. He's really good technical. He's good with the ball. He's a great player. He's a powerhouse.
Gray Yates patrols the midfield and has been solid for CAP all season.
He is a great midfielder. He's very physical, knows the game very well, can pass the ball, great technique, and just all-around great player.
As Flores mentioned, there are younger players who hone their game with the under-14 squad as well. One example is his son Marcelo, one of the top 11-year-olds in Ontario, who has excelled against older players.
The idea was to bring him up to be challenged, to practice with them. His performance speaks for itself, right? He comes in a little bit, scores a goal. He plays longer games, he scores a goal. He's dangerous on the box. He's having a good year, and therefore he's having and earning his opportunities. He's a good player.
Flores has seen a change in the way young Canadian players are being developed, and it gives him hope for the future of soccer in this country.
I'm very happy, I'm very pleased that not only my academy, but other academies do the same thing, and I think that that's fantastic on benefit of the Canadian football.
It's time now for the CAF Countdown, the top 3 plays of the week, brought to you by Focus Integrative Therapy. Focus, dedicated to your ongoing health and wellness. Not as much this week since there were only 2 games, but still some good ones. Number 3, Bradley Alphonse. Sick moves. Lays it off for Julian Nichevsky, who makes no mistake. Beautiful moves by Alphonse on the setup there. Number 2, Focus Jonathan Escobar with the free kick against Toronto Gunners. Knocks it over the wall for the score. That was the game winner in a tight 2-1 Boca win. And number 1, Fabio Durazio of the Boca Under-16s with the sublime strike against Toronto Fusion. Gorgeous, definitely worthy of our Focus Integrative Play of the Week. And we are all out of time. Just remember, though, there's lots of different ways you can keep up to date on what's happening in the Canadian Academy of Football. Check out the league website at cafsoccer.com or follow us on Twitter at CAF_football. And you can check out our Facebook page as well. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next week for more CAF TV.